What's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. This one is about the Sony FX3. Sony is my daily driver. The FX3 is my cinema camera, cinema body of choice. I had some things that bothered me about this camera that I ultimately needed to fix, but I'm gonna get into that in a little bit. Oh, also, make sure you stay till the end of this video, because at the end of this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how I made my memory recall setting presets. If you're new here, my name's Joseph Lipsen. I make videos about tech, about filmmaking, and ultimately it's just what I'm into, it's what I'm passionate about, it's what I love to talk about. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new. And if you're already one of my subscribers and you're back, well, welcome back to this video and welcome back to my channel. So the problem I have with the FX3 is the switching between modes. The switching between my standard 23.975 mode that I'm able to capture audio and capture just normal speed video, and then jumping into S&Q mode when I want to shoot at 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second. And what I don't like about this camera is it is easy to hit the mode button and switch between S&Q and regular video mode, but it's the rules. It's having to change your shutter, it's having to change your ISO, it's having to change your aperture. It's all of those things that gets in the way from capturing the shot quickly and ultimately just missing the shot. So I wanted a shortcut. Now why don't I try this memory recall setting? And it's not something specific to the FX3. All Sony cameras have it. All cameras of other brands have it. So if you're watching this video and you don't have a Sony or you don't have an FX3, you can still do it. You can do it on any camera. But what these do is they set basically automatic presets. So with that, I'm gonna talk about the modes. So the first setting I have is my memory 1, and what that is my 23.975. That's just normal film frame rate. It's what I want to use when I want to capture audio, when I want to vlog, when I want to capture things at real speed. And I have that as my first one because it's what I'm in the most. It's what my camera kind of defaults back to as always the first thing I'm in. And what that is it's a frame rate of 23.975. It's a shutter of 1/48. I have my aperture automatically set to 2.8 because I'm using the 16 to 35 f2.8. And I like to shoot on a low aperture. And then finally, I'm shooting in 422 10-bit so I can grab the most color out of my footage. Now, this is where it gets interesting, and this is where I was talking sort of about my problem I was having earlier. When I jump into Memory Recall Preset 2, that's when I jump into my S&Q modes. And what's nice is when I jump into my S&Q modes, my shutter is already set at what I need it to be for the frame rate it's at. Standard film rule is to always have your shutter double your frame rate. So when I'm at 23.975 in Memory Recall 1, I'm at 48 shutter. When I jump into Memory Recall Preset number 2, I'm in S&Q now. I'm shooting S&Q at 60 frames per second. But what's nice is not having to change your shutter, because I've missed so many shots having to change my shutter speed. And it's as simple as that. Having to change my shutter speed has screwed up so many moments of shooting, and I've missed tons of memories, tons of moments because of that. Or I've just rolled and had the wrong shutter. And it's not something that's obviously noticeable, but if you know what you're doing and you know what you're shooting and you shoot a lot, you know you've done something wrong. Memory recall number 3 is the last one, and that's my fun frame rate. That's 120 frames per second. So with that, when I'm at 120, I have my shutter at 1/250, double the frame rate. I have my aperture at 2.8, my ISO at 200. And then like I said, S-Log3, 422 10-bit, all of those things make it up. So across all 3 of these memories, a lot of the settings stay the same. So like I promised at the beginning of my video, I'm gonna show you exactly how I make a memory recall preset. So I'm gonna hop into my mode. I'm gonna go to MR1. I'm gonna go to menu, and this is gonna be my first memory recall. I'm gonna show you how I do. So 23.98 is my record frame rate. I'm at 1/48 of a second for shutter speed. F2.8 my aperture. I have my ISO at 200 with a base ISO of 800, 5500 white balance, S-Log3, 422 10-bit. I'm shooting in 4K with my LUT off. And then I have things like my peaking on, I have my zebras on. So from there, I'll head into my menu. I'll go over to shooting. I'll go to shooting mode, and then I'll hit camera set memory, and I'll set it to my first one. And from there, it'll register it. And that'll be exactly how I set my camera memory recall. So it's really actually that simple, and it just takes a little bit of time. So like I said, this is helpful to anyone that has an SLR, DSLR cinema camera. If you have something that looks like this, there's a 99% chance you're able to do this. It might be a little bit different, the settings on how you do it, but you're able to do it. I love talking about this camera. I love talking about not the specs of it, but how I use it in my daily life and little hacks I've used over the years to make it easier for me and work into my workflow a little bit better. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite frame rate is to shoot at, and I'm curious to know. So make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.